Hey, Shay here. So, yes, just got out of watching The Bride new movie. I did do a very brief overview short, which you can see below. I'll summarize it quickly again. Movie takes place in 1930s Chicago. You have a groundbreaking scientist who ends up bringing back a young woman that was murdered to be Frankenstein's monster companion. And where the story goes from there, it was unexpected to everybody. And this movie has a lot of people. You have Christian Bale, you have Jessie Buckley, you have Jake Gyllenhaal, you have Peter Skarsgård, you have Julianne Hough, you have Penelope Cruz, and the list goes on. And from watching the trailer to actually watching the movie, it's another one of those movies that when you watch the trailer, you watch the movie, very different. Like the scenes that you see in the trailer, I was expecting different things to happen. Like watching the movie and you see the scene from the trailer in the movie, what led up to that scene and what happened after that scene wasn't all what I expected, which is really, really good. Same with the flow of the movie in a really, really good way. And I mean, the first thing that I have to say that I was thinking, or one of the first, was the movie makeup in this movie and how they did the actual, the prosthetics when it comes to, Christian Bale's, the staples on his forehead and all the pieces that were sewn together to create Christian Bale's Frankenstein's body. I was just thoroughly, astonished and amazed, I just was incredible. The other thing is Jessie Buckley. Her character almost has this dual personality in a way. So she ends up playing, two different voices, and they're polar opposites of each other too, like hot and cold. And I was honestly amazed at how her acting was in contrast of both characters that were going on. I thought that was incredible. And, the storyline goes a lot deeper than it seems. Like it's not as surface level as, The Bride of Frankenstein. It goes so much deeper to that. They also really, you get the writer of the book is highlighted throughout this movie, which I thought that was really interesting. And there's not a whole lot of gore. There's a little bit, but not a whole lot. This movie also really highlights, the mob scene that you have in the 30s, and how times were very different with women in different professions and things like that. So I thought that was really, really interesting. The dance number that you see, and this community that ends up developing. I don't know how else to describe, but there's a response to The Bride and Frankenstein in a really interesting way. And it's this, I guess you could call it a cult following, but it's more than that. And yeah, no, I thought it was an enjoyable movie. People were saying that they really liked it. I thought the acting was fantastic. The music as well. And it was a movie that, there's, you have Jake Gyllenhaal who's playing this famous actor in it. And, you end up seeing a number of clips of movies that Jake Gyllenhaal is in. And it's really interesting because you have Frankenstein who's fantasizing, or like, he's daydreaming at different times in the movie, and he's picturing himself in different parts of the movie. And I thought that was really, really interesting. And some of the movie was shot in black and white, and you have some of it shot a large chunk shot in color. And it's just a very, very unique piece of movie. But it was, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I definitely recommend a watch. I would comment that some of the language that is used is quite, the vocabulary is very colorful. So that's one comment. But otherwise, there's the love story, but then there's also heartbreak and tragedy and twists. And, it's just, there's a lot to this movie. So I enjoyed it. I'd recommend it. And it's out tomorrow. And let me know if you made it to this point. Let me know if you ended up seeing it, if you enjoyed it, how my review was. And I think that's everything I have to say. I can't think of... The only other thing is that I did not realize that Peter Skarsgård was a Skarsgård. I had no idea until I looked it up. So I was like... I'm placing this guy, but I didn't realize he was a Skarsgård. But as always, until the next movie, and thanks so much. Bye.